Alright guys, so how are you? I hope you're all doing well. I thought I'd try and get a video filmed today on my latest acquisition, and this is a bit of a crap camera angle because I basically had the option of having the camera too high or too low to be sat down to do this, and I couldn't really be arsed standing up for like however long with this. But anyway, this is a Les Paul Special. I've had this for about 2 months, but it is not a Gibson, so this is a CMI. It stands for Clear Tone Musical Instruments, I believe. There's also a Chicago Musical Instruments, but I'm pretty sure this is a Clear Tone one. I've done a bit of research into it. From my understanding, it's like a daughter or son, whatever you want to call it, company of Marshall, because something to do with like import and export costs and trying to sell their amps and stuff outside of like outside of America back in like, you know, 70s, 80s sort of thing. So they started this, Clear Tone Musical Instruments. Obviously there's Clear Tone Strings. I don't know if it's the same company. I've not actually done that much research, so I honestly have no idea. But basically I was in a shop, second-hand shop that I go in all the time, just looking at pedals and guitars just in my town pretty much, and I was looking at this. I was looking at a Gibson SG that was about a little bit less than £100 more than this. And I was just playing it, and I ended up choosing this. Not chosen. But yeah, so it's Les Paul Special 2P90s, kind of like reddish, just mahogany. Like you can really see the grain. I don't know how well it's going to show up on here, but you know, there's a lot of flair. But it's beautiful, really. And I was never really into Les Pauls. Like, my first guitar was like a SG copy, then I had my Strat, which you've seen a video on, and then I had my Chapman, which is this Telecaster here, ML3, which is, again, beautiful. But I was never really into Les Pauls, and yeah, I don't know, this kind of changed everything. It's kind of a neck thing for me. I'm just not a fan of D-shaped necks. And I've played like other people's Epiphones, because when I was studying at like college, I was like the only guy with a Strat, and there was like one other guy with a Telecaster, and that was it. And I had a Strat and a Tele, and that was it. So yeah, I played, like I said, I played them, but I've never owned one up until now. So I'm just using the camera mic for this. I'm going to give you some clean sounds, and I'm going to talk a bit more about kind of just what's influenced this decision, really, because this is my third guitar, and I don't really like, I don't know, I feel like I kind of thought I was going to end up going for like a traditional Strat, because obviously I've got my HSS Strat, and it looked more like I was just going to get a traditional 3 single coil Strat with a maple board, but it just hasn't happened yet, and I've ended up going for this. So I'll play you some cleans, like I said, just using the camera mic for this one. Yeah. Just with a bit of reverb on at the end. So yeah, kind of like, my main reasons for this is because I wanted to get a guitar with P90s. So obviously this is the only guitar so far I've owned with these. If you know about guitars, you'll know what these are. These are P90s. They're single coil, but like kind of hotter single coils, and they just have like a really rich, warm sound, and my main inspiration was obviously I listened to loads of Gary Clark Jr. He's an amazing blues guitarists. Kind of done a really interesting thing with his most recent work, where he's kind of done this like kind of poppy blues thing, and it's really accessible actually. Like I could imagine a lot of people who don't even play guitar listening to it, because it's just so accessible, like I said. And you know, so he played P90s when I got into him. He was using, I think, an Epiphone Casino for like the entire tour that he was doing, and so that was basically it. And I was playing, like I said, in the shop, I was playing this and I was playing an SG. The SG had humbuckers, and I just ended up choosing this for both the sound and the feel, because this has more of like, I'll try to show you, but I'll probably never get it across in the thing. This still has more of a C, even though it's like a Les Paul, and especially down here, this feels almost like a Strat down here. It definitely feels like a Les Paul up here, but it's almost like, you know, my Chapman when you get down to this end. It's just a tiny bit more wood, which, you know, someone like my girlfriend's probably just going to cut out the clip of me saying a tiny bit more wood and send it to me, but that's besides the point. But yeah, it's kind of down to that I wanted a P90 guitar, and then, but really, like, it's also like the scale thing. Like, it's really interesting having, what's it called, 24-inch scale, I think, because most normals are 25.5. I'm off the top of my head, inch scale length. That's obviously, if you don't know, from here to the nut, just the distance, and that obviously affects, like, you know, the tension and stuff. So I don't know what gauge are on these at the moment. It's either 10 or 11s. I can tell that, but I honestly have no idea which one, just because I'm not really used to the scale. And I've not changed the strings out since I've got it, which I really need to do. I need to change the strings on like everything, because I'm just lazy. But the other thing is just Tool, because I've just been getting into Tool massively, and I love tuning. I had so much fun tuning this down to like D standard and drop C, and just going like, you know. Just playing bullshit essentially. So what I'll do is I'll probably show you some gain tones and just show you some of the ways how I use this. Another great thing about this, before I actually go and do a new section of the video, is obviously, like most Les Pauls, you've got a volume and tone for each pickup there, and you've got your switch. I really love doing the whole, I'll show you now, if I can. I really love doing the whole like kill switch thing. So if I was to go like that, but it feeds back horribly because it's a bit too much gain for these to handle, because that's the only other issue slightly with these, is they're kind of more suited for like a bluesy style thing. But you know, I've got my Strat down there with a naughty humbucker for doing higher gain stuff, so I'll probably just use that, you know, in a general thing if I need to do it. But anyway, I'll do a new section, sort my tones out and things, so that it's not going to feed back horribly while I'm trying to film. And yeah, I'll show you what it sounds like with some gain, and I might even go in drop D for a bit, just because, like I said, Adam Jones, Tool. So yeah, in conclusion, this is 1975 CMI Les Paul Special lawsuit model. So for one, this is older than me. I'm 19. This is what, like, that's some quick maths. I can't do that shit, man. 75, that's 25 years plus 15, that's like 40 years. This is like 44 years old. That's crazy. You know, some people's like, I don't know, mate, that's ridiculous. Wow, fuck. This has got like, I don't even know, like I've looked up stuff like this. I've never been able to find one that looks like this. I can find like CMI Les Pauls and stuff, but I've never found one that looks like this, because I think this is just honestly quite rare, to be fair. Like I said, I just got this in a second-hand shop. I've been told underneath here, truss rod is exactly like it's meant to be on a Gibson, and they've done a couple bits and bobs that they wouldn't really like normally do. Obviously you can tell it's not a Gibson, but like under the hood it's so close that there's just not really much else I can say. I just love the neck. Like I said, it's the one thing that you know, I would change about a Gibson, and they sort of have, I think. Like I said, I've not really played that many, but just from my experience, that's kind of what it feels like. So yeah, like I said, it's amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this demo, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.